unless you're eating the exact same thing every single day and you're moving the exact same way every single day, your daily weigh-ins are going to fluctuate. Multiple different factors: your digestion, how much sleep you've gotten, how much water you've gotten, how much water you're holding on to, the volume of food that you consume. 1 pound is 3,500 calories. So I always like to remind clients that freak out when they see the scale fluctuate like a pound or something. I'm like, did you consume 3,500 calories yesterday over your maintenance calories? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, we're good. So deep breath around that. All right, welcome to the For Her Kind podcast, where we break down the truth about health, fitness, and the foundations of lasting mental and physical transformation for women of all ages. I'm Dr. Alisa. I'm the founder of For Her Kind.
And I'm Christina, the FHK coach and partner. This podcast was made with your steps in mind. So whether you're out for a walk, cleaning your kitchen, hopping on the walking pad, these next 20 to 30 minutes are for you.
Today, we are sitting down with one of our incredible clients, Amanda. She actually joined us in St. George, Utah for our photo shoot last October, which was so fun to have you in person. But this is a journey that a lot of you will resonate with. We're talking about how she went from struggling with her relationship with food and fitness to finding sustainable, strong, and empowered approach to her health. I remember your first call. It was over a year ago. I think it was October 2023. And I'm just excited for today. We're going to break down her experience with overcoming disordered eating tendencies, prepping for her wedding, training through pregnancy, and the biggest mindset shifts that have helped her build a long-term balanced approach to fitness. So if you've ever felt stuck in your health journey or struggled to find that balance between discipline and sustainability, this episode is for you.
Amanda, you were my client for so long, and to just be with you through your journey has been honestly the best. I remember even, I'm going to take it before the call. I remember you DM'd us and you were like, do I have to weigh myself in this program? And I was like, yeah, you do. And you're like, nope, not for me then. And I showed you, I even sent you a picture of what I looked like when I weighed myself in 2 different times. I weighed the same, but had 2 different physiques. And then finally you kind of came back, I think after a couple of months, and you were like, okay, I'm ready to do the call. But yeah, this is a really special episode for me because, again, I get to interview one of my own clients who has been with us for over a year. Amanda, you have been such an important part of this community. You came in fully committed to the process. You questioned us a few times, and even on the days when it wasn't easy, but honestly, I don't know, just everything about you taking the time to really try to change was the best thing to watch. And we've shared so many moments together during our check-ins, a lot of tears, vulnerable conversations, and even moments where you looked at me like I had 3 heads because I told you how many calories you had to eat during maintenance, and you were like, pardon me? No. Honestly, let's start from the beginning. What brought you to us?
Well, originally, of course, it was prep for my wedding, and I was like, okay, I want to do something. There's so many of those online programs, there are things that you can do, and I'm was one of those every diet in the book kind of person, and I was like, I really want to actually commit to bettering myself and getting it was all about getting the physique and body I wanted, and it was like, okay, I'm going to do something that I can fully commit. So that was, I'd say I went into it strictly for that. And obviously, which I'm sure we're going to get into how much more I gained, but I just went in for it being like, I want to do something that keeps me on track and gets me where I want to be for my wedding.
And
And I
yeah,
think
and then I think the craziest part was, you're and I remember you writing this in your check-ins. You're like, my goal is my wedding. But then it started to get deeper after weeks and weeks. What did it turn into?
well, yeah, it was definitely just my wedding. And then I think it was just, I didn't realize how much I would be changed. I knew it would be okay, I'd be weighing my food, and then I decided, okay, I was gonna weigh and measure myself, but I didn't realize how much I was gonna be changing from my normal routine. I was cutting back to 3 workouts a week, and I think I came to you guys doing 2 workouts a day. And so
Wow.
yeah, it was a very okay, wow, I need to, I think just actually, which I know we talked about, it took me a while to trust the process, but it was something I needed to be I actually need to commit to this and trust this. And I mean, like I would give a review like I couldn't even give 10 out of 10 because it's just more than that. But like I even talking to so many girls, like nobody had said something bad about it. So I was like, you know what? I need to just like trust it and do it. And then yeah, then it turned into more like it wasn't just about like weight, like obviously it was about like physique goals, but it was a lot about yourself and like putting sticky notes on my mirror and just like finding like more love for myself, not just like love for myself at a specific body and like
Mhm.
knowing that you're going to go through changes. So I think, like I said, the goals kind of started to get more deeper and not just like, I want to lose 5 pounds. It was like,
Mhm.
I want to be able to be stronger. I want to be able to lift more. I want to be able to have a better relationship with food, like on and off the scale, and a better relationship with like this like body scale, which like that I think was like took me the longest. I'd weighed food before, so I think like girls going into it and not weighing food, it's probably that's also hard, but I'd done that before. So for me, it was definitely like the scale weight and like dissociating from that compared to like what your body looks like.
Yeah, and I would say like you came into this journey, like everything you were just describing is super similar to what so many other women go through, right? Like coming with that mindset of, thinking doing more, working out more is going to get them closer to that result, and eating less was the answer.
Yeah.
Can you share a little bit more about how your mindset around food and exercise started to change throughout your journey?
Yeah, like don't get me wrong, I did like a program before and I know we talked about it where I did weigh my food and I did go into like a crazy deficit. Yeah, like I got like a really good body, but it obviously didn't last because when I came to you guys, it was like, I'm trying to do that again. It's not working because I was just in a straight deficit and like doing workouts that weren't progressive. Like I wasn't like like increasing my weight and I was going every day. So I think the shift definitely came when I saw that it's a slower process. Like I said, like I didn't see like the first 3 months. I was like, why am I not seeing anything? But in the end, like I felt like it's something I could maintain
Mhm.
for
Mhm.
a long time. And I was eating also way more. Like the deficit that I was doing before wasn't even the deficit that I was given when I was with you guys. So
Mhm.
that was also so crazy to like realize like, okay, wow, like I could still eat this much and still have the body that I want to have and maintain.
Yeah, we got to add fuel to the fire. We always say like your
Mhm.
digestive system is like a fire. If you are adding fuel to it, it's going to consistently be burning. It's still going to be running.
And
If
I
you're
think that's the hard part for like when you're around other women or that kind of are on the old, like not to say the old, but that are on the like eat less, work out more to like fill your plate and be not just like pick at a few things, like and be confident in that decision is something that's hard because like everyone else is so educated to think that like we're supposed to like not eat carbs or like I never ate carbs and now like I don't eat a meal without rice or potatoes, even if
Mhm.
it sometimes.
I love
Yes,
that.
girls, if you're dieting, eat your potatoes. They are like the highest thing on the satiety index. So if you are hungry, or sorry, if you're dieting in order to stay satisfied and to like feel full, potatoes, they have a high water content, super satisfying, and
Mhm.
they're not even that many calories. So
Mhm.
eat your potatoes.
And I think too, to even think about like when you came to us so afraid of weighing in, this is a really touchy subject for women, especially women who, maybe had a history of disordered eating, where we're often told not to go on the scale. Um, how do you like talk about that journey with us, like you transitioning into weighing in and even now moving away from weighing in, right? Like I know I mean we haven't chatted in a few weeks, but yeah, like just tell me about your scale journey.
The scale was like, as you know, the scale was hard for me.
Mhm.
It was like I never wanted to not. I didn't weigh myself for a while, but I didn't want to be scared of it. And that's why I think I pushed through continuing to weigh myself. Um, but I think at the time I still like even leading up to my wedding, I remember being like to you, like, I still need to lose these 2 pounds. And like now looking back and when I talked about this at like my photos and I would compare my progress photos and my scale weight, and I was like, am I crazy? Like these 2 pounds makes zero difference.
Mhm.
So I think in the moment I totally get it. It's hard and you have this like ideal weight that you want to like be under or and I think once you actually achieve it results and you see that like the scale weight doesn't really matter,
Mhm.
it's eye-opening, but it's hard to see it in the moment. It took me till after to look back and be like, okay, wow, like I look just as lean in this picture and I was 2 pounds heavier.
Mhm. I think also we actually didn't start off the show. So Amanda came to us, of course, prepping for her wedding. And then right after her wedding, she got pregnant. So right now she is in her third trimester.
Woo!
Uh, yes. And she stayed with FHK, I mean, think like till mid or second, the mid of second trimester, right? Um, and yeah, so like, we transitioned through many different phases of her life, and she's going to come back when she is ready after she has the baby as well. But that being said, like, you kind of navigated going on the scale and looked at it as a way of really trying to move away from fearing it. Yes, not every day was perfect. I'm not going to sit here and tell, our listeners that like you just magically developed this better relationship with the scale. It took time. It took a lot of work. It took a lot of conversations, a lot of
Exposure therapy.
oh yeah, a lot of affirmations. And that was exactly it. Like the whole point behind jumping on the scale every day is to get a bit of that exposure therapy and to also see that our body fluctuates. Okay. So you're not going to be the same exact weight every day, throughout the day, right? We consume food. There's volume in our bodies midday. Our weight's going to look different on the scale halfway through the day than it did in the morning. So these are things that are really important for women to actually realize and see with their own eyes, especially our periods too, right? Like how our body fluctuates before and after our periods.
Mhm. Yeah, and that's why we do the daily weigh-ins, just so our listeners do know is, well, a couple different reasons to feel okay with or to become okay with seeing the fluctuations. And also, it's also like breaking up with the scale, like having no
Mhm.
attachment to it. But it's also get a weekly average because your day-to-day weigh-ins are going to vary unless you're eating the exact same thing every single day and you're moving the exact same way every single day. Your daily weigh-ins are going to fluctuate.
Mhm.
Multiple different factors. Your digestion, how much sleep you've gotten, how much water you've gotten, how much water you're holding on to, the volume of food that you consume, right? A
Mhm.
lot of people don't understand, like, just because you consume a certain volume doesn't mean that, like, that's exactly how much weight is being put on your body. So that's a huge thing. 1 pound is 3,500 calories. So I always like to remind clients that freak out when they see the scale fluctuate like a pound or something. I'm like, did you consume 3,500 calories yesterday over your maintenance calories? They're like, no. I'm like, okay, we're good. So deep breath around that, and we can move forward.
I think another thing that like I noticed with weighing myself every day and was something that like a lot of other programs, well, I haven't done many, but that I never took into account was I know FHK is big on sleep and stress.
Mm.
What I would notice the weeks that it's like, okay, I had good sleep, or like I wasn't that stressed, or I let go of like the pressure of a certain number, my weight would go down.
Mhm.
Like it's hard to tell yourself that because you're like, oh, like I want to be a certain weight, and you're stressing about being that certain weight, but that's not helping you get to that weight.
Yeah.
We saw that so much with your results. Like
Yeah.
if I could just like I should just pull up your sheet right now. But we literally went through so many periods where like, and I know, some clients aren't like as great at tracking as you are. I know you track very well. Okay. So you would literally be eating the same things, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, the scale, you were in a deficit and the scale wasn't dropping. It wasn't making sense, right? And then it came back to, okay, well, how'd you sleep? And, how stressed are you right now about this scale number? And you were literally like holding on to this weight,
Yeah.
mentally, physically.
I think at the beginning, actually, we upped my calories because I wasn't losing weight.
Mm-hmm.
We upped my maintenance. And I was like, oh my God, are these people nuts? Like, that's when I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. And then I was like, okay, I'm going to stick it out. And then that was just a big like a really big eye opening to like under eating isn't the answer. Like maybe it's a quick fix. You're gonna lose those like 5 pounds by the weekend, but it did not clearly didn't work for
Water.
me. Yeah, and I just found like when I was not stressed and sleeping and letting go of that, like I like put the stickies on my mirror, like I just eventually started seeing it come off.
Mhm. And I think this is something for you to also remember and take away with you when you have the baby. You are not going to be sleeping. Okay. Sleep,
Yeah.
consistent sleep is now out of your life for many years, depending how many kids you want to have. So that's something to also remember, right? So you have to kind of continue to come back to that because we can easily forget about these things, right? Because our mind can play tricks on us. And you got to just come back to, you know what, like, I'm not resting right now. This is a phase of life right now where there might be a little bit more fluctuation than I'm used to, but that's okay.
Yeah. And if we look at it from the GHK lens, holding on to a little bit of extra water is there to help you survive.
Fish out of water.
Yeah. Fish out of water, like all healing happens in a fluid environment. So like, thank you, body. Thank you for holding on to a little extra water because I know that I need a little extra healing right now, a little extra support. Yeah. And it's
Mhm.
not body fat also too. Scale weight is not just a reflection of body weight. And a lot of women get hung up on a number so much. I would say less and less now. I would say my older clients, like 50 plus, they're a little bit harder to shake with the numbers at the beginning. But I would say like going forward with like the younger generation, it's pretty cool to see. It's less common.
So, should we talk about prepping for the wedding?
Yes. Wedding prep. Okay.
Feels
What?
like
Yeah, it probably feels like it was so long ago. First of all,
yeah.
Amanda had the most beautiful fairy tale wedding in Rome, Italy.
Literally,
Yeah,
princess.
crazy, crazy. If you get it, we'll link her Instagram, obviously, but if you get a chance to lurk, go check it. Check out the
Wait, and who did you have again there perform? It was like,
It
who?
was like the Gypsy Kings.
Yes. How did
Yeah.
that come to be? Sorry, this is off topic for a second, but
Oh
how did you
yeah.
have the Gypsy
Well,
Kings at your wedding?
there's like, because the Gypsy Kings are obviously not all alive anymore. So there's like different like bands of the Gypsy Kings that like have some of the original singers. Anyways, I had saw that the venue posted it, and my planner's like, "Oh yeah, yeah, I know the guy," and I was like, well, "Can we contact him?" And yeah, that's kind of where it happened.
So fun. Yeah, it
Yeah.
honestly was like a fairy tale looking at. I was like, oh my gosh, I've been working with her for so long and I did not realize how amazing her wedding was truly going to be.
It
Yeah.
turned out really nice. It was just nice to have like that many people come to Italy. It was like actually overwhelming how nice it was just to be like with like some of my best friends and family. Like, when are we ever going to all go to Italy together?
Mhm.
100%. I can agree
Yeah.
with that. Such a great opportunity for you guys to have. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So, because we kind of talked a little bit about your wedding already and like kind of just, going through some of the challenges, but because you had so much leading up to it, right? You had like the shower, you had the engagement, and then the wedding itself, you went away for your bachelorette too. So
Yeah.
how did you balance wanting like
I also had
all
like
of
two other
that?
weddings. So it was just like, yeah. And that's where like I didn't like, I think I talked about this, like, as much as I am a disciplined person, but I never found it like, and that was another reason going back to why I came to you guys, because I was like, I don't want to be one of those brides. And I've seen it so many times. They go on these week crash juice cleanses before their wedding, or like 3 weeks before. They're like at their showers or events, not eating anything. And it's like, that's not enjoyable. Like, I want like this process to be enjoyable, and I want to work hard, but I want to enjoy a glass of wine. Like, I want to enjoy a drink when I'm out, and I want to enjoy going out for dinner and like not having to get a special meal at my bridal shower.
Yeah.
So I think like of course that's like the flexibility I find you get with tracking. Like, you know what to eat, you know what to not eat, but then you also know like for that one event, like you can enjoy yourself and just get back on track the next day. Like, your week isn't like totally messed up because you went out that one day. So
Mhm.
I definitely found I never felt like I was on this crazy diet during my wedding planning and just like all the events. I just found like I was, especially when you start to know like what your body needs, and like if you have an event at night, let's load up on protein in the day. Like, there's so many things that I learned that you could still enjoy and not feel deprived.
For sure. And that's why so many women are successful with our program is because we are human beings too. We like to enjoy. I mean, Tina and I are European. We appreciate good food and experiences, and we don't want to have those to come at a cost, right? And it's of course we pick and choose our moments, but when you focus on your week as a whole, or the method that like when we teach you the FHK method and we're looking at your week as a whole, it really helps women move away from that all or nothing mindset. Whereas, okay, you only have this amount of calories every day of the week. Okay. And if you don't hit them on Wednesday, you may as well start again next Monday. It really takes that away, which I think is why it's sustainable long term.
And I think there's nothing that like when people would say, "Oh, what do you like?" when they started to see changes in my body, "Oh, what are you doing? Like, what are you giving up?" And I was like, "Nothing." Like there wasn't one thing that I completely cut out of my diet. Like I still ate fries the odd time I went out. I still had my glass of wine the time I went out. Like there was nothing that was off limits. And I think that's what helps that all or nothing because you're not the minute you take something away, the minute you want it. So it never felt like I was restricting myself.
Yeah. And don't you love your chocolate every day? A little chocolate?
Yeah, I would have something sweet every day, like
Hot chocolate.
I had my hot chocolate all the time. I would find like a
Protein
healthy
hot
way to
chocolate?
make it. Yeah, I'd make that all the time. And like I said, I love fries. So like if we went out, there would just be like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna get in. We're gonna split it between three people, and then I'm still gonna get like my steak dinner, or
Mhm.
just kind of knowing kind of how to balance out the day. So I think, yeah, I just never felt like I was on a restrictive plan. And even when I went away for like my bachelorette or I during the process I went to Italy for 2 weeks to plan my wedding, I came back like the exact same way. Like you just when you have and I didn't measure anything, when you have those tools in mind, like okay, like I know I'm gonna roughly should get this much protein a day and you still make it enjoyable, it's not like I'm gonna go away and it's all or nothing.
Yeah. And just like falling in love with the lifestyle, right? Like
Yeah.
it's actually an enjoyable process and it gets to be, we can let it be enjoyable. It doesn't have to be a grind. It doesn't have to be.
No, I did not become like I said, I always had a fear about traveling. Like travel was such a fear when it came to like eating and food and working out. And now I'm like, I know what to do. Like I traveled so much my wedding year and I still got the results that I wanted.
Yeah, I always tell when clients are hesitant to start if they're traveling or something, I'm like, honestly, I did my first focused phase living out of a hotel during COVID. So it is doable. I ate at a restaurant every single day, and made it happen. So
Mhm.
yeah, just super.
It can be like, obviously depending on the person, but it can be actually really helpful if you're eating out a lot and just making the right choices. Because like for me, like I would rather purchase a salad than chop one up myself.
Yeah.
Right. And salads are like so expensive now when you go out and buy one. But yeah, like you can really like you can modify and I mean we always say like just like if you're eating out, just I always say at least I'm like go right to the mains menu. Okay. Like don't look at like just go get the steak dinner, get the chicken dinner, whatever it is, because that's what's actually gonna fill you up and be like volume eating.
Yeah.
And you'll get protein because the apps don't.
Yes, of
Mhm.
course. Um, okay, so I brought this up before. You're pregnant now. Big congrats. And she is keeping the gender a surprise. Big kudos to you. Um, and honestly, so I was actually pregnant when I guess I was pregnant while coaching you, right? So you kind of got to see like a bit of my journey as well, um, which was awesome. And you got to see so like sometimes I would come on the check-in and I was like, I remember doing demos and just being like, oh right, I have a giant belly and I'm trying to do like lunges right now.
Demo a
Sorry.
hinge. Trying to demo a hinge would be tough.
Yes. Um, but yeah, so pregnancy is such a transformative experience, and staying active can play such a big role in how you feel. So, how did you feel while like training pregnant? Because again, you were with us till like mid second trimester.
Yeah, I think I must have been like just pregnant in Utah because I took a test when I came home. So I'm definitely glad I did that trip and photo shoot. Um, it was a few things. Like I definitely, if without the program, like I said, like going from training like times a day to like 3 times a week, um, that would have been a shift because your body changes so fast, and obviously some things you can't control. And I think just having the tools of like, and that's why it was so great, like working with you and like seeing your journey. But some days it was hard. You're like, I'm not going to the gym to like lose weight and lean out anymore. I'm going to the gym to like be strong, and like my weight is going to increase. But I mentally just kept up with it because I know in the end it was like it's going to be good for me. It's going to keep me strong. And I just had so many tools of like how to how to train differently, or how to eat good. And like I feel like I haven't had a bad pregnancy so far because
Mhm.
I've been keeping up with those things. Like there's some days, yeah, I don't want to go to the gym because I'm like, I have a belly now, and it's just you're looking not the same goals as you did before. But one thing, like I haven't, knock on wood, I don't think I've cried about my body once, which is like for me like such an achievement in itself, because normally I thought getting pregnant I would be like crying over the way my body changes.
Mhm.
But I think because I know, okay, I'm also going to eventually get past this, and I've done so much work before to know how to get my body back to where I want it after. Like this is just a time in life. It's not forever.
Yeah, that's so powerful, Amanda.
Mhm.
And then
No.
also too, like, can we bring light to the benefits of training and eating enough food in your pregnancy? Because for so long, your goal was you were cutting, right? Like your goal was to shrink in a way, right? To preserve as much muscle as possible, preserve as much strength, but you're not actually building any shape when you're in a focused phase, right? Building muscle and losing body fat are two separate goals, unless you're a complete beginner in the gym. That's a different story. But for someone like you with a background training, or for someone like Christina or myself, they're different goals. And a lot of women don't understand that because they hear, oh, let's get toned. And they think that they can lose fat and gain muscle at the same time. Unfortunately, it's not how it works. You need to be adding enough fuel to build muscle, right? It's like a house building bricks. Um, so now that you're in pregnancy, you have this time to maybe like, if you want a little bit more muscle in any area, you can really kind of like design your body that way. And then it's going to make your journey postpartum that much smoother. Yeah. Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
think too, like the tool, even like the tools of like eating protein, like being falling in love with protein. Like I don't know if I've just had like a really good pregnancy, like nauseous wise or energy wise, or if it's because the way I eat. Like I'm gonna say it does have a lot to do with the way I eat, but
It does.
yeah, I am gonna be a bit more lenient, and I am gonna have like a little bit more of a treat than I maybe would have before. But I'm still gonna stick to my roots of like, okay, you know what? Let me pick the protein option over the whole carb option and feel way
Mhm.
better through the rest of the day.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Energy levels. For
Yeah,
sure.
that, and the thing is, like, I know, like during first trimester, you and I working together, that was, I know it was, just some days were hard, right? And like, I don't know, even know if you knew this, but your husband even like messaged me and we had a side conversation. He's so cute. I love him. We love her husband, supportive men.
Very
Like a
Uh,
go-kart driver. So cool.
but yeah, like, he was checking in, he was wanting to make sure like, you were okay and you had the support you needed. And, basically wanted to like make sure like everything was kind of aligned and what also he could be doing on his end. Because first trimester for, I would say 99% of women sucks. Okay. Like whether some women are throwing up, whether, or even just feeling nauseous at all, like you don't feel great. And also too, like you're nervous, there's all this fear around the first trimester and getting to that 12-week point and then also keeping it a secret from everyone. Um, we worked through a lot of that stuff.
It's hard because you're like, some days you're just like, I just don't want to eat this stuff. But then you're also like, I want to eat because like this is such a crucial point for my baby to grow and develop. So you're just
Mm,
like toying with yourself. And then like as the scale number is going up, but you like also don't look pregnant. So you're like, oh my gosh, like where am I carrying all this? And it's like, yeah,
mm,
I think I just came from like prepping for Utah to like all of a sudden being pregnant. So it was like
yes.
even get a maintenance phase in there. Like it was like
And
Mental
back.
that I
gymnastics.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was like something too. I remember. I mean, I was so excited when you told me you were pregnant, but we had a plan, right? Our
Yeah.
plan was for you to
Just to
prep for your
prep.
wedding.
Yeah.
And then, as we kept working together, your goals started to shift and you were like, yes, I want to achieve this result for my wedding, but I also want to also start preparing my body to get pregnant and have a baby. And we had said like last minute you joined Utah and then you were like, okay, like as soon as I'm done Utah in the photo shoot, I want to be in maintenance and I really want to practice the skills so that I can go into pregnancy feeling really good and be able to just kind of like lead that healthy lifestyle and feel balanced. And we had to kind of rush it because
Plot
literally
twist.
immediate, yeah,
I was like,
and that was
I'm
hard.
pregnant. Yeah, that was hard. And
And
like, so
though,
I think like looking back, if I obviously I'm so grateful at how fast it happened, but
Mm,
yeah, I think like I had to like really quickly be on my feet about like, okay, like, and I think it was just bringing tools back into like what we've done in maintenance before and also knowing like, okay, this is a completely different chapter. I need to like put the other chapter aside and like quickly get onto this one. But I think it just from what I put in before, I was able to work through that. Like I said, like there wasn't a time, like I think the only time I cried was about my like face breaking out because I was pregnant. Like I never cried because I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gaining weight now. I just had to kind of quickly readjust to being like, okay, I need to up my calories, which was hard.
mhm.
I remember you telling me like, oh, you need to eat like this many calories now that you're pregnant. I was like, what? So like even now, like
We
some,
increased you. Well, yeah, I mean, your first trimester, we kept you the same. I just brought you to your maintenance because you were
yeah,
eating at your deficit. But then I said, okay, we got to bring you right up to your maintenance. And then in second trimester, we brought you up like 300 calories.
yeah,
But still, there was a big jump, right? From your deficit number to your maintenance number all of a sudden.
yeah,
Um, and we saw you gained a few extra pounds than you had hoped to during your first trimester. Because the crazy thing too that a lot of women are told is that like, oh, you shouldn't gain during your first trimester, right? We see that a
yeah,
lot. You shouldn't, right? Like all these big words that you hear when it comes to pregnancy and or what to expect, I guess. And I remember I can't remember how many like pounds you gained during your first trimester. I know I gained like 10 pounds. Okay. But
yeah,
again, I had come out right from a deficit as well and got pregnant. So it was just literally just water weight coming back on.
yeah. And I think like that's where like you'll Google it and it's like, oh, you should gain like 1 to 5 pounds or like if 1 to 3. And I was like, what? Am I gonna be one of the then I like you start to spiral because I'm like, am I gonna be one of these people that are like, I'm gonna gain a bunch of weight? And then think that was more mentally hard for me. But I'm also still like I need to eat more to keep because your energy is also so low. Um,
Mhm.
so yeah, that was hard. It was definitely a hard shift, but I had so much support, so I can't complain about it at all. It was just
Mhm.
mentally a push through, and I'm so glad that I stayed like with it and I stayed with like the program up until like yeah, I think halfway through my second, almost my third, because now I'm gonna be
Mhm.
my third trimester next week. So it definitely really helped me just having reassurance like I'm doing all the right things.
What's your favorite high protein meal pregnant? Did it change at all?
Uh, the first trimester was cottage cheese. Definitely anything with like a lot of
On
cottage cheese.
toast?
Yeah, that was like, and there's days I was like, I can't even look at this chicken breast. Like, yeah, no. Um,
the cottage cheese was okay.
Cottage cheese is okay. Yeah. Now, a lot of like steak and ground beef.
The
Yeah,
Fatty foods.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Lots of like red meat. Still cottage cheese is like a good, easy go-to. But yeah, I would say red meat.
And then what about training? Like, are you noticing any changes in training right now?
Um, Second trimester, I definitely felt like, wow, I can all of a sudden this like crazy. Like I never stopped, even during first when I was like really tired. I still always did my 3 days. Some days I did 2 days a week at the gym. I would just go later in the day because I was just so tired in the morning. And now, like, right when it hit second, I was just able to like lift heavier and had like this
Mhm.
whole more bursts of energy. I'm noticing a little bit of a shift some days now. Just more like leaning over to pick things up. Like I'm still pretty comfortable, but just kind of just not wanting to injure myself or anything. But training is all still like good, just like remembering the basics and like kind of just keeping the moves simple and not
Mhm.
doing anything too complicated.
So good. I'm so proud of you for sticking to it.
Yeah, it's definitely hard. Some days you're definitely like, I don't want to go to the gym today because like what, but then I'm just keeping in mind, like, okay, I'm going because it's gonna help me so much during recovery and
Mhm.
even like
Keeping you
this
strong now.
I had a
for
client, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt, but I actually had a client and she was like, she gave birth and the nurse was like, do you work out? Great pushing. She was like,
It's
yeah.
a thing.
Mhm. Mhm.
yeah.
Well, I'm so excited for this next chapter for you. Honestly,
Mhm.
just so proud of everything that you have overcome. And thank you for using your story to inspire others too, because I know it's like a sensitive topic and so many women deal with this.
Yeah, like I mean, I can talk from like I came from like this was like way before I was like 80 pounds. Like I came from like the depths of an eating disorder. Like so to like come to where I am now is definitely a huge change. And I say it wasn't until I truthfully it wasn't until I did FHK. Like before I was like any diet in the book, like you name it, I did it. My weight was like a roller coaster. I was up, I was down. And it was just because I was always like cutting out, okay, I'm gonna cut out carbs this month. I'm gonna cut out sugar this month. I'm gonna cut out this month until I actually change my relationship with food. And I used to be so scared of going out for dinner. And now I'm like, just when you have like that knowledge, you know what to get to feel good, but you also know if I have this one night, it's not gonna kill my week.
I
For
think the
sure.
biggest shift you had to is just becoming more confident in yourself and your
Yeah.
choices,
Yeah.
right?
And that's a big thing is like choices around other people. And just like I know we talk about it all the time, but like what if you say no to something and then people are going to judge you or people are going to ask you like I got this all the time like well why do you deprive yourself, and I was like I don't deprive myself, I just don't need 3 glasses of wine to enjoy myself, like I'm happy with one. So I think it's
Mhm.
just like being confident with those decisions and even like when you're ordering, just being like it's not, I think Alisa talked about this once and I was like, wow, this like really resonated. It's not about like it's hard when you're such a European, like you think it's about the food, but it's not about the food. Like you're going out with people to see people. So
Mhm.
focus more on that and less around like the anxiety around the food. Cause like the food is just
Mhm.
there. Whether you eat one thing or you eat 5 things, it's not going to change the time that you have.
Mhm.
Yeah, and like sometimes too, you might enjoy that food in a better setting, right? Like I always say, like you want to make sure that your environment is matching the joy of the food,
Yeah.
right? Like I want to make sure I'm tasting my food. If I'm like too busy interacting with people, being social, you
Yeah.
know, that's not my favorite place to indulge. I think somebody said in the group chat the other day, because we were having a conversation around people pleasing in the group chat. And I think one of our clients was talking about having chocolate cake on her night shift at the hospital. And she was like, yeah, you know what? It actually probably wasn't the best place to have that because it was like, not the vibe. It was between, bed A, I'm not sure what they call them. Bed A was like wetting their
Yeah. Yeah.
or something soiling themselves, and bed B was doing this, and she's like, and the hospital lighting wasn't the vibe. And then
Yeah.
another girl commented being like, yeah, honestly, I'd rather to have my dessert alone on the couch. And that's fine too. It's just like understand knowing yourself more
Yeah.
on like just knowing yourself and how you prefer to experience joy in life and like being confident in who you are.
Yeah. And eating before grazing events.
Yes.
Mm,
Yeah, that helps.
that's a big
Yes.
one.
Yeah.
We definitely worked on that one.
Definitely something I learned, especially when you have so many events that are like that. And like I said, it's all about the food, but it doesn't really need to be.
No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Mhm.
Okay, well, yeah, your journey's so inspiring.
And like
Yes.
I said, the program was just so great and I cannot wait to come back. And I'm actually like excited now to like it's gonna be hard to like not restart, but like to I'm not gonna go in. I'm not gonna do a deadlift how I did it before. So, but it's nice to know that it's like I can get there again.
Yeah, it's so, and that's like the beauty behind pregnancy that people kind of overlook is that you now get to have a baby which is the best thing ever. And then also set new goals for yourself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you challenge yourself in ways that you never thought were possible.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be exciting. You're going to, yes, right now going to the gym might feel like, okay, but you're going to start going to the gym again and you're going to watch yourself slowly regain strength. And you're going to be like, holy crap, like I am an absolute beast.
Yeah.
Yes.
And you can still get strong right now, but it
Yes.
is cool that the goalpost is always moving.
Yes. And sorry, I should reiterate the reason why I said that is because you do lose your core strength after you go into labor, right? And it's very shocking, I will say. So just regaining that again is really, really fascinating to watch. But with that being said,
One more question, maybe.
okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, wrap it up.
Yeah, if you could go back and give yourself one piece of advice at the start of your journey, what would it be?
Trust the process.
Trust the process.
100% trust the process. Like I so many times was like, I don't know, like I don't know about this. I don't like listen to
We
what,
remember.
yeah. Yeah. Listen to what you guys know it, and I wish I listened more. And just I listened, but it was like I always had one foot in, one foot out at the beginning, and just like trusting it.
Go all in.
Yeah, and I think any girl, like it's funny, it's all in, but you're also like, I was cutting back because it was like my all in is like working out twice a day. So it was like, okay, all in, but like listening that I only need 2 to 3 times a week, or I need to eat more, or I need to like sleep more, like things that you're just like, no, like that's not what I should be doing. So I think whatever, if any girls that do the program, just trust your coaches because they know what they're doing.
Thanks,
And I
Amanda.
took so much time. I wasted, not wasted, but so much time like second guessing myself and being confident in your decisions. Like, no, I know that I'm doing this right.
But that's also like what makes you really learn, right? Gotta
Yeah.
live and learn.
Yeah, it all happened how it was supposed to for you, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So your journey is so inspiring, and I know so many women listening are going to see themselves in your story. So I really want to thank you again for sharing it with us today.
Yes, those of you listening, thank you so much. If today's episode resonated with you and you're ready to stop spinning your wheels and start seeing real sustainable change, you can head to the show notes and apply for coaching, or you can shoot us a DM on Instagram. This process is about so much more than just looking good. It's about feeling strong, confident, and capable in your own body.
And if you love this episode, share it with a friend who needs to hear it, because I know many of you do. Make sure to subscribe, leave a review, and stay tuned. We've got more incredible conversations coming up inside For Her Kind.
Thank you.